What's up, everybody? Welcome to Among the Fence. My name is Aaron. Today we're checking out the new album, As Above, So Below by Highly Suspect. This is the fifth studio album from the alt-rock band hailing from Massachusetts since they formed in 2009. I wasn't really planning on doing a review on this record, but so many people were commenting on my New Music Friday video saying it's one of the best rock albums of even the decade. So I needed to see what it was all about. Plus, I am secretly a huge fan of alt-rock, and I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Highly Suspect. Their debut album, Mr. Asylum, is regarded as probably their best album, but their sophomore record, The Boy Who Died Wolf, is easily my favorite. Mr. Asylum has a lot of energy. It's a very, very good debut album, but I just love how deep and somber their second record is, relying a lot more on atmosphere more than anything else. Unfortunately, things went downhill with their next two albums, MCID and The Midnight Demon Club. I struggle with just about every single song off of MCID. The shout-outs at the end of the opening track, Fly, make me cringe even 5 years later, and their last record, Midnight Demon Club, didn't really get much better. I would say the music was getting lazier, the lyrics were more boring and empty, and they both left fans feeling very disappointed, which explains my shock that this new album was getting so much praise. And looking at the first single that they released, Summertime Voodoo, I can kind of see why. It has some of the rawness found off of Mr. Asylum mixed with the emotional side of Boy Who Died Wolf. It works really well as the opening track too, setting the tone for what's to be expected musically, and the lyrical content symbolizes vocalist Johnny Stevens maturing through the imagery of a motorcycle accident in the middle of the desert. The second single they released, The Blue-Eyed Devil, has some grit to it with a very, very prominent thick bass line. It also shows, again, some self-awareness in the lyrics. The chorus is kind of boring, but I did enjoy how it changed and became a little different each time, adding different stuff in there. The bridge is absolutely euphoric, and I loved it. It reminds me of something that could be found in like a Quentin Tarantino film. It just has like this Western kind of deserty feel to it. And the last single they released, which is one of the slowest songs off of this album, it's very emotional. It's titled The 8th of October, which is the date that his relationship unfortunately came to an end. It's pretty sad and vulnerable, not really skimping out on any details. Johnny goes into basically every aspect of his remorse and his sorrow and how devastated he is by this relationship coming to an end. And this song is more based on storytelling than anything else. Has a really happy ending though, found in Forgiveness, followed by an instrumental that's very triumphant, like he could hold his head up high because this person decided to take him back. Then we have songs like Unalive Machine. Technically, I can't really say the actual name of this song because there's a word in it that would flag my video, and if you're watching this right now, you would probably never even know this video existed if I did say the word, just because it's the way YouTube works. This one is about the destructive lifestyle of being a rock star. It has a really cool riff that symbolizes a party-filled life, but to me, instrumentally more than anything else, the drums just stand out so much. Not specifically what they're doing, but their tone and where they sit in the mix. It was just so well done. But one of my favorite songs off of this album, for the music alone, has got to be Mexico. I absolutely love the synth, and I love the different instrumentals that break up each section of this song. It's got really good energy all the way through. It doesn't feel like it really lets up, but at the same time, it's super chill. And Plastic Boxes keeps that chill energy going with a bluesy vibe and a strong rhythm, and I love the way it quickly builds up each time it goes in the chorus, making for a little mini climax just about every time, full of keys, a very upbeat riff, and it just makes this song super addicting. You just want it to get to that next part. However, this song is the high before the extreme low. That is the 7-minute long song, Melantonia. The guitar throughout the song is super clean. This one could be either about a toxic relationship or his need for melatonin to help him sleep at night and his struggles with depression occurring at the same time. There's an eruption of music about halfway through after the second chorus, which to me really saves this song. I mean, the way it is absolutely perfect, but if it was just that clean guitar and just the very somber, melancholy vocals all the way through for 7 minutes, this would be a little rough, but I feel like more than anything, the drums really stand out again and save it. The bridge is musically one of my favorite moments on this album. And it's really cool to hear Highly Suspect flexing their progressive songwriting muscles, and it flows into the 5-minute instrumental Reset, which is quite a wild ride. It's definitely a nice reset going into the back half of this record. I normally don't care that much for instrumentals, but this song was just a lot of fun. I loved all the different changes and the different sounds, and you could just tell they're having a lot of fun with all their creativity and just having fun playing the song in general. Then we have Run for Your Death, which follows it up with a very intense intro. The verses are super bassy with the lead guitar taking over in the pre-chorus, and I love how rough around the edges the chorus is. It definitely has this kind of tired feel to it. The vocals signify an attitude of just being over and being done with addiction and just how exhausting it really is. And then we have Champagne at Our Funeral, which takes me back to their debut album. And even kind of reminds me of Weezer at times. This song is very open though. He doesn't really hide anything. He doesn't hold anything back. The lyrics are very personal about the death of a friend, and it's kind of reminiscing in a way, but also he's dealing with feelings of guilt while he's like looking back at just how he might have influenced this person. And that brings us to the closing track, Then Mickey 2, which is quite a trip, especially the intro. The lead guitar in the background creates a lot of discomfort, as do some of the other just random weird sound effects, and the whisper vocals fit right into that discomfort. This one sounds like he's kind of coming to terms with mental health struggles and how it could really affect you a lot more than you think, and a lot of the things that he was doing to really kind of be a douchebag, especially throughout the past 2 albums, and just he's kind of lashing out in a way. And I feel like that he's realizing it was more mental health problems and just how wore out he was from being a rock star and touring and stuff. And I really enjoyed just how out of place this song was. It's not at all what I was expecting. I was expecting just this huge upbeat song or kind of an acoustic piece, just because I felt like that's where it was going. And this was just, it didn't make any sense. But in terms of creativity, I feel like it fits right in with the rest of the album. It's a slow burn, but I feel like it definitely sums up the rest of this album nicely. And I feel like after listening to it multiple times, it actually does fit in really well, especially throughout like the entire atmosphere of this record. It just flows so beautifully. I absolutely loved this record. It's a step in the right direction. Highly Suspect went back to the basics instead of trying to force things and be super artsy. I feel like they just went into a room and just started jamming out and having a lot of fun. Johnny Stevens didn't waste any lyrics. There's no filler songs in this. There's no songs that feel like they're just there just for the sake of being there to bridge a gap in certain areas of this record. And this is I feel like it's a beautiful redemption for this band. There's a lot of ups and downs within the music and the storytelling, so it just keeps you entertained all the way through. And sure, some of their more upbeat songs and different tracks on here feel a little formulaic, but I don't feel like it takes away from the overall experience, especially when you get to the more proggy records. And I wouldn't say that this is a great album, but best album of the decade, are you talking up until 2015 or 14? Because there's a lot of really good rock albums. I would not make that claim, but I would definitely say this is like I said, a step in the right direction. Highly Suspect has won me over again, which is really cool because it's rare that a band loses a fan and then gains them back, because a lot of times bands don't listen to what fans have to say. They just kind of write whatever they feel like writing, but at the same time they're trying to appease a big crowd, and I don't feel like Highly Suspect fell into that rut. I feel like they stepped out of it very gracefully. So with all that said, I got to give As Above, So Below by Highly Suspect a 8.1 out of 10. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you agree with some of my other viewers saying that this is one of the best albums of the decade? Or do you think me and everybody else is just crazy and you don't see what the hype is around this and they still kind of suck and they're not really good at making music anymore? Leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of As Above, So Below. Let me know what you would rate it and what your favorite song is. And if you enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a like. It helps out so much with YouTube's algorithm. And if you want to support me further than that, feel free to subscribe and ring the bell icon. Doing any of those things helps me out tremendously. so much more than you could ever imagine. Even if you just watched up to this point, you don't do anything else, you've done a lot for me, and I appreciate you for taking time out of your day to listen to me sit here and talk about music. And I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, whenever you happen to be watching this, and I will talk to you guys next time.